Evelyn to Philip, March 7th, 1943, 7:40 p.m. Sweetness. Although I think the thrill of getting a long-distance call from you won't affect me the very next time you do call, it always does. In fact, I seem to get more excited with each call. Is it possible? You sounded very close last night, and how I would have liked to reach out and kiss you, sweet, especially when you said, "Don't go away yet." You sounded how I felt, or should I say, we. Please, dear, take care of your income tax. I don't like when you leave those page 2 things for the last minute. Perhaps it won't amount to much, and if it doesn't, I'd rather pay it now. Adele weighed 13 pounds 13 ounces this morning, which means that in 15 weeks she doubled her birth weight. My mother went to Tanta's funeral, and since there wasn't enough room for her to go to the cemetery, she came home to relieve Ruth. Ruth had put Adele to sleep on her tummy, her face to the wall. My mother glanced at her, and then 5 minutes later she glanced again, and this time Adele was facing her. She couldn't understand. Page 3, and called Ruth to ask her if she had turned Adele's head, not realizing that Adele, when she gets tired of lying on one cheek, picks her head up and tries the other. Did you know that? I made spaghetti and meatballs tonight, and everyone complimented me highly. In fact, they said I can do the cooking all the time. I was afraid of that. It was really delicious, even if I have to say so myself. Gosh, but I wish you could taste my cooking, sweet. You have one consolation, though. I'll be a full-fledged cook by page 4, the time I experiment on you. I have a nasty moon-shaped burn on my left wrist. I acquired it a few days ago when I was puttering about a hot oven. Shows how inexperienced I really am. I'm kind of tired and intend to get to bed early. Harry, Goldie, Jack, and Gloria went to Ethel's. Mo and Rose couldn't make it. All the Chases are there. I have to set Ruth's hair. Good night, precious mine. I love you, I love you, I love you. As you say, wish I were your pillow. I miss you so much, honey. Adoringly, your Evie. Philip to Evelyn, Sunday, March 7th, 8:30 a.m. My dear Evie, I'm writing this early as Red and I are going into Columbus early this afternoon, and I won't get another opportunity today. Last night we saw Tennessee Johnson, and I thought it a thoroughly absorbing picture. Red didn't care much for it and spent the evening reminiscing of the good times he had on his 3-day pass. Your voice last night had a happy ring, I thought, and I remember thinking, too, that you are becoming accustomed to my absence. At least you do a better job of hiding your loneliness, or do I flatter myself? Maybe you're not so lonely anymore, huh, Chippy? I'm glad now that Adele is among those present, for I am convinced that she is the best thing that could have happened for both of us. In her, you have an all-absorbing interest that gives you very little time for the brooding and an object upon which to shower the love and affection rampant in your overflowing heart. I have the great satisfaction of knowing that because of my foresight and great love for you, my sweet, come what may, you will never again be left entirely alone. Of course, this is thinking in a purely selfish vein. Then there is the objective point of view, which brings home to me the fact that we have done our duty toward everyone concerned when, page 2, we brought Adele Barrastrongen into this world, which is nothing to brag about now, but is potentially the greatest world ever known to man. We at least have given her her chance at life, whether or not in years to come she will thank us for the dubious privilege. In addition, we did a pretty complete job of changing the status of everyone in both our families. Just consider, with one fell swoop, we have created, besides our daughter, 2 grandmothers, 1 grandfather, I shall always regret there weren't 2, 1 aunt, 5 uncles, count them, a brand new set of parents, and who knows, maybe a baby sister. Get it? All in all, I'm very proud of our accomplishment. Aren't you, baby? Wish I could get home to see Ben and perhaps Lenny and Lee. And I probably could, only my expenses have been rather heavy, and I am almost flat already. Don't ask me what happened to my pay. I'd never be able to tell you. The fact remains that I am very low in funds, so low that I'm ashamed to tell you the puny amount. If you can see your way clear, Chippy, I could use a couple of bucks. Maybe Mom can spare the $5 this month. So you see, it's impossible to think of coming home at this time, as much as I wish I could. I would very much like to get Ruthie something too, as a token of appreciation for taking such good care of Adele. And while there are many, many things at the PX I'm sure she'd like, such as lockets, compacts, necklaces, etc., they cost more money than I have. Sharp and Dome's check arrived, and believe me, I'm still plenty short. However, and I mean this, don't send any money that you will need yourself. I can manage the essentials with what I have. Hasta mañana, sweetheart. Your Phil. P.S. Love to all. A kiss for you and a kiss for Adele. My best to Ben and Lenny and Lee. I have a hunch the latter may visit you. Letter from Ivan Barnhart to Evelyn Strongen, also known as Red Barnhart, Phil's friend, from Columbus, Ohio, March 7th, 1943. Dear Evelyn, honestly, I don't know how to express my appreciation for this fine letter I've received from you. I'm sure it would be a pleasure meeting you. Perhaps we can arrange to do so sometime in the near future. Page 2. I'm really glad you approve of my accompanying Phil. I really don't deserve having such a pal. I really like him. I've never met anyone who seems so much like a brother as Phil does to me. We sure have some swell times here, going to the movies and drinking malted milks. Ha ha, such is Army life. Well, maybe it won't last. Page 3, too long. The war, I mean. As for our friendship, really hope nothing will happen, such as either of us getting shipped to separate camps. As I read over this letter, I see quite a few mistakes, hoping you won't mind, considering the source. My spelling is terribly, as you can plainly see. Hoping this letter finds you and the baby well and happy as ever. Page 4. Just can't think of any news or anything interesting to write about. So if you don't mind, I think I'll quit for the present, hoping to hear from you in the near future. Remaining as ever, a friend, Ivan. I almost forgot to tell you, Phil and I are going to a movie this afternoon. Again, I want to thank you for the swell letter.